When they're at their best, action RPGs are amazing on mobile. The epic loot, the huge monsters, the evil scum trying to take over the world, and yes, even the rage quitting when you die for the millionth time is all part of what makes these experiences awesome. But way too often, mobile ARPGs either suffer from horrible monetization systems or just straight up shallow gameplay. So I asked you for some proper ARPG recommendations. I looked back at the games I've played over the past many years, and I ultimately came up with these 10 great action RPGs that you need to take for a spin if you haven't already. So let's check them out, and remember that you can find lots more over on my mobile games discovery platform, MiniReview. The first game is PASCAL'S Wager, and it's a hardcore Dark Souls-like RPG set in a mysterious gothic fantasy world. It's a game full of challenging enemies and a ton of gear to craft, but what truly sets it apart from most other action RPGs is that you can switch between multiple playable characters when you die, or even directly during gameplay. The storyline is also great, the controls are decent, and it's the type of game where learning each enemy's moveset and perfectly timing our attacks is really gonna make a difference, so it's also a bit more slow-paced than some of the hack and slash games we'll talk about later today. With incredibly well-made creature designs, a dark and gruesome atmosphere, and the ability to play the game for both long and short play sessions, the game is just perfect for mobile. It's a premium game that'll set you back $3.99, but it's well worth the price if you love hardcore action RPGs. Now, if you prefer Castlevania-style action RPGs though, then Grimvalor might be just what you're looking for. Its combat is extremely fluid, and defeating some of the larger bosses actually requires getting to know and learn the attack patterns of these bosses so you can perform awesome slow-mo dodges at just the right time. The control system is also great, and there's even full controller support. Coming in at $6.99 US, Grimvalor is a bit more pricey than PASCAL'S Wager, but there's a free trial on Android, and if a platform action RPG is what you're looking for, it'll be difficult to find anything better on mobile. Next up is Anima ARPG, which is probably the closest thing you'll find to Diablo on mobile at the moment. The game features a ton of loot with random attributes, all of which can of course be upgraded, and with no predefined classes, we can switch between ranged, melee, and magic weapons at any time, or choose to focus on one of them to grow stronger. If you get into this game, you do have to be prepared to run back and forth through the persistent dungeon quite a bit though, and kiting the strongest monsters is almost a requirement in this game. Anima ARPG is completely free to play though, and although there are a few in-app purchases that let you progress a bit faster, none of them are necessary to enjoy the game or complete the game as a free player, so the monetization is almost perfect. And bonus time, if you enjoy these types of ARPGs but you've already played Anima ARPG to death, you can always check out RAZIEL Dungeon Arena. Its monetization system isn't amazing, but it is great for casual 2-minute dungeon runs, and there's a ton of content and loot to get lost in. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the game so far, but if I've forgotten one of your absolute favorite ARPGs, I'm very sorry, and please do share it down in the comment section so I can include it in future videos. Alright, now back to the games. Now, it's almost impossible to do a video about mobile action RPGs without mentioning Eternium, because with millions of download and lots of positive reviews, it is one of the most played and beloved games within this genre. Like many of the other ARPGs, we can play as either a mage, a warrior, or a bounty hunter in this game, but unlike the many virtual joystick-controlled games, we control our character in Eternium by simply tapping the map or an enemy to move or attack, and then activate skills and abilities through gestures. And I think that's a big part of the reason why so many people love this game, because its combat system just feels slightly different from all the other ARPGs out there. It has no paywalls, close to no pay to win, can be played offline, and if you haven't tried it yet, I would strongly encourage you to take it for a spin. Next up is Ninth Dawn 3, which is one of the best 2D open world action RPGs around, and it features a ton of exploration, fighting, loot collecting, crafting, and leveling. The world in this game is absolutely massive, and there's good diversity in the fighting styles offered by the many different weapons, and lots of spells and abilities to make combat exciting. And with cooking, fishing, monster taming, and even alchemy, the game offers much more gameplay variety than most ARPGs. Coming in at $9.99 on mobile, the game is $5 cheaper than the PC version of the same game, so if you enjoy RPGs where there's more to do than simply constantly killing enemies, and you don't mind the pixel graphics, then this is definitely worth checking out. At number 6, we've got Evil Lands, which stands out from most of the other games mentioned so far, not only because it's in 3D, but also because it has both PvE and PvP. So the way this works out is that although we primarily kill monsters, bosses, and complete quests alone, we do play in a world filled with other players, which makes the universe feel all the more alive, and we can of course fight those other players or kill monsters together with those players. The graphics are above average for this type of game, combat is fluid and fast-paced, there are lots of skills to unlock and level up for each class, and even an attribute system that allows us to truly customize our build as well. It isn't isn't a perfect game though, and some will definitely find it too grindy or the controls somewhat mediocre, but it's still one of the best within this specific ARPG subgenre, so it's worth checking out if that's your cup of tea. Now, if you want to influence the games included in future videos like this one, by the way, then remember to subscribe and keep your eyes on the community tab, because I always post over there asking for recommendations from you guys before making videos like this one. Now, next up, we've got Almora Darkosen, which is a top-down hack-and-slash RPG with a large, grim open world that has taken a single indie developer 9 years to develop. Like many other ARPGs, the core gameplay revolves around defeating monsters and completing quests to gain XP. But where the game sets itself apart though is through the many quest NPCs, hireable mercenaries, and lots of hidden treasures that are scattered throughout the game world. And just like with Ninth Dawn 3, there's also a crafting system that requires mining for resources to upgrade equipment and collecting plants to craft consumables. The game is free to play both on Android and on iOS, with a $4.99 in-app purchase to unlock a premium version that removes the few advertisements that otherwise occasionally occur, and also gives access to minigames and other quality of life upgrades. So if you're a fan of old school RPGs, this one is a must try. The only downside really is that the controls may take a bit to get used to. Titan Quest is a classic ARPG with a neat mythological theme that lets us fight a ton of well-known creatures like Hydra and Minotaurs. It also still holds up in 2021, which is honestly pretty impressive since it was originally released for PC all the way back in 2006. But most of all, what truly makes Titan Quest a favorite of many mobile gamers is its sheer amount of content, which includes over 1,200 items, 30 character classes, and 150 skills, which adds up to more than 60 hours of great gameplay. Coming in at $6.99 on Android and $5.99 on iOS, it's also one of the more expensive games in today's video, but considering how much it offers, I think it is well worth the price. I've got another bonus game coming up in just a bit, by the way, but if you watched this far, I would really appreciate it if you leave this video a like to help give it a boost in the YouTube algorithm. It's much appreciated. As the predecessor to Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact 3rd is one of the overall largest ARPGs in today's video, and with high quality graphics and some of the most awesome skill and slow-mo animations I've ever experienced on mobile, I think it deserves a spot on this list. Now, unlike the games I've covered so far, this one does have an energy system and also a gacha unlocking mechanic where we collect heroes and items based on RNG, but with both single-player missions and co-op multiplayer, the game also provides a very unique gameplay experience that I'm sure many will enjoy. The biggest downside is that it seems the monetization has gotten slightly more aggressive over the years since I first played the game, but it is definitely still enjoyable as a free player. And as a quick bonus game, if you've already played and enjoyed Honkai Impact 3rd, you might also want to check out Punishing Grey Raven, which has some of the same smooth gameplay and lots of content to dive into. But if what you're really searching for is a truly old school RPG, you have to give Exiled Kingdoms a chance. It may not seem visually impressive, but its huge open world single player gameplay experience is amazing and will instantly hook you if you enjoy this retro ARPG genre. The game features a total of 4 distinct character classes, 5 difficulty levels, and 6 types of attributes that we gradually level up to customize our character, and then just a bunch of quests, creatures to kill, and loot together. The controls may take a bit to get used to if you're new to isometric RPGs, but there's also full Bluetooth controller support, and like a true old school RPG, there's no gacha system, no edit system, no advertisements, and no microtransactions. Instead, the game is free to play for the first 30 areas up to level 8, after which a single one-time $3.99 in-app purchase unlocks the full game. So there you have it, my friends, the 10 best action RPGs. Thank you very much for watching till the very end. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know what you thought about today's games in the comment section. Subscribe for much more mobile gaming goodness, and then until next time, just keep gaming, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys around.